Hi Coach, this is Ryan Prickette. As I've told you in my letter, I'm a 398 student. I've got a 30 on the ACT. Obviously I try really hard in school. On the golf course I'm very competitive as well. As I've said in my letter, I'm number 2 in the state. My national rank is 760 right now. I have a great passion for golf. It's been a part of my life as long as I can remember. Hopefully throughout this video I'll be able to demonstrate my abilities and give you an idea of what kind of player I am.
Hi Coach, my name is Carolyn Barnett Howe. My husband and I are both PGA professionals, and we have worked with Ryan now for about 5 years. What you're going to see is an athlete that is a scholar and great student. We think he's got one of the best swings in the state, and we tried to put it on film so that you can break down the fundamentals and judge for yourself. Coach, as you look at Ryan's swing, know that you're going to get a solid student athlete. You're going to get a player with very good fundamentals, both on the short game and the long game, and you're going to get a competitor.
These are two different swings taken from two different angles, obviously. But take note in how both of the swings seem nearly identical in tempo and in body position.
We have always liked Ryan's setup at address. He's very stable, his balance is very good, and his swing plane is absolutely wonderful here. The butt of the club is pointing right at the ball. He makes a wonderful one-piece takeaway. Sets the club well. He's got a good grip. You can see that with the club face relative to his hands. Coach, I'm going to play these swings, this particular swing several times over, so that you can see the various positions in Ryan's swing. I love the position that he gets into at the top. He never overswings. He has a wonderful lag angle, and his transition down into the ball is very good. Good leg work there.
When it comes to the short irons, I try not to think about it a lot, just kind of let my body control the motion of the club. Obviously, when you're hitting an iron, you prefer accuracy over distance. While I do still have the power, I try to control my wedges as much as possible. These are 7 irons now, both different swings. Again, taking a look at how the different swings compare. As you can see, they're both very much alike.
Because Ryan dictates the speed of his swing with his body, his tempo is almost exact on these two swings. This one was just for fun. I was always impressed at Ryan's position at the top of his swing, and my computer has a body of swings from different golf professionals. I pulled out Nick Faldo's here. This is a live swing of Ryan's, just so that you didn't think we posed it. That's very natural position for him. Very good position. Right on down to his swing.
Now we've got the driver. One thing I'd like to point out is the leg angle. I believe it's obvious to see that I generate a massive amount of club head speed. I do hit the ball out there with most everyone. My average drive's around 295.
Ryan hits the ball very solidly. There is no shortage of power in his swing. Coach, look at Ryan at the top of his swing. He gets his left shoulder over the inside of his right shoe. He's got the Sergio lag angle there, so he does generate a ton of power. And we're just showing you that with the blue line. And he comes into it, and I freeze it here to show you his release. There's no flip in that. That's just a pure release.
Right now this is a driver off the deck. That's one of my specialty shots. I like to use it a lot on the longer par 5s. I've played in a lot of tournaments where I've had 620, 630 yard par 5s, and I've been able to get to the green in 2 because of having that shot in my bag.
And Coach, lest you think that he hits this like a low line drive, you'd be wrong. This ball takes off like a driver off of a tee. It's really a phenomenal shot and quite impressive to watch.
Now we've got some wedges here, comparing the full sand wedge to the 3/4 sand wedge.
Ryan has a really nice command of his sand wedges. He rotates his body through it nicely, so he can control his distance on these very well, and I think it's one of the reasons why he scores so well and is one of the dominant players in the Wisconsin section.
Down to a half sand wedge now.
And again, it's not a flippy move. He rotates his body through it quite nicely. Ryan is one of the most creative players I've ever worked with. He can create a myriad of shots, and he does them all very well.
We'll show you a little later some of my shot making abilities. Right now we've got the flop shot. I pride myself on this shot as well. Probably practice it a little too much if that's possible, but I love fooling around with the wedges.
Because Ryan is so good with his wedges, he's also a very good bunker player.
We're now at a full swing with a 3-iron. Little longer shot.
Again, we show the profile here so that you can check out his swing plane and see what type of move he's making on the way back and on the way through here.
Over the years, Carolyn's worked a lot with me on takeaway swing plane, and I believe that's been a key to my success as of late, is getting that swing plane in the right position time after time.
I think this is what Ryan is referring to, how we've worked on his swing plane. You can see it come down along the shaft line there, his impact position, and then his release.
This is another driver. Notice the swing plane on the way back and the position at waist high. And right in plane on the way down as well. And even the finish is in plane. Now are some of the shot making moves that I've told you about earlier. This is my little punch iron. I like to play the shot into the wind as well as off the tee on some tighter holes.
Ryan is probably one of the most creative shot makers in the state of Wisconsin, and perhaps even nationally. He understands the physics of the golf swing. He can hit it low, he can hit it high, he can move it. He really has a lot of shots in his bag.
Right now we're looking at a punch cut. I like to play this shot especially out of the woods. Gets me a lot better chance at getting up and down when I can cut it through the woods and get it up somewhere near the green. Now we're looking at a punch draw. Sometimes it turns into a punch hook, but that's not always a bad thing. I'm going to take a look at some short game. This is just a little bump and run off of a tight lie.
Ryan's got a fantastic short game. His fundamentals are as good as any collegiate players, and it's probably the main reason why he scores so well. Obviously, as you saw in his long game, he hits it well. But if you're going to score, if you're going to produce under par rounds, you have to have a short game. And he has a very good short game.
If I had to pride myself on one thing in my game, it would not be the long game as you might think. My scoring almost always tends to come from around the greens. I generally will only hit 11 or 12 greens in a round, but I will almost always be under 30 putts around.
Ryan was taught to putt by one of the best putters in the section, 5-time Section Player of the Year, Bill Brodell. And as you watch his putting stroke, Ryan is just dead quiet over the ball. He always has been, and it's made him a very good putter, very confident putter.
One of the things I've always prided myself on, Coach, is keeping my head down for a long period after the stroke. If you watch J.P. Hayes, the 3-time winner on tour, he was also taught to putt by Bill Brodell, and you'll notice that he keeps his head down longer after the putt than any other player on tour. And I always goof off on the range. It's just one of the things I've learned to do over the years. I'm sure you've seen that a million times, but felt like putting that in there.
Coach, I understand that you're going to get a lot of tapes from a lot of different players. You're going to refer to the national rankings for the junior players. And what you have in this tape right here is a young gentleman who's a scholar, a very good player, who just hasn't had the national exposure that comes with playing in AJGA events every other week. That doesn't mean, however, that he doesn't have the talent to do that. Access to those tournaments is often limited, and Ryan has done very well with the tournaments that he has had access to. I hope you look at this tape with a keen eye, because what you have in front of you is potentially a very, very solid player.